1 year ago, I made a video about the imposter syndrome, and I've set one goal for this year: to make more music and finish an album to feel more relevant in what I do. This year took a lot of unexpected turns as I kind of became a teacher, been a sound designer for a synthesizer, I'm writing swing music for a short film, which is all very exciting, but it also gives me conflicting thoughts, which sometimes makes me feel like I'm two persons. So in a mix between a channel update and a discussion about well-being, I would like to look back on this year's project, connect them to last year's video, and share what I learned along the way. So what was the original plan? I wanted to take the best track I made for this channel, make them better, and turn them into an album, to finally go through the whole process up to the publishing. You know, finish the cycle. Because as I told in last year's video, having some real music actually published would make me feel more relevant as a music producer. So spoiler alert, this album is only halfway done. But I have another project, an EP made with a friend, that is ready to be released. This was the exact same process done for my album. I've made music with this friend for years, but we never released anything publicly. So we selected our best tracks, completely reworked them, and now we have an EP called Tomiro that I am very proud of. So now I'm just about to release it, put the first track out and make content for it. You know, play the marketing game. And I don't know if I can say that, but this is not the part I make music for. This is not the fun part. Like, I know I want to do it and it can be fun, try new type of content, there are several things I'd like to try, but I kind of do it because I have to do it if I want to do it the right way. And so I had this redundant thought saying, trying to do what you want in the best way keeps adding stuff you don't want. Like, anything you want to develop will add up tasks you won't like. And even if the general thing is something you really want to make, that can have you question the whole project. The best example I have of this may be how I thought about developing this channel. I would love to do more with this channel, like documentaries, teaching, creating a software or a game, but the context is I work on this channel only on my free time, as I have another full-time job. There's only so much I can do alone, and as the channel is growing, I'm kind of reaching the limit here. So I'd like to hire someone, like a video editor or someone for communications, to free some of my time to make other things. This is not an announcement, I am not looking right now, it's just a thought process. But if I want to hire someone, I would need my channel to make more money, to create a system that sustains itself. But this system means having something to sell to make that money. And here already there are many options I'm not really comfortable with. But for example, one thing I can do is maybe make a paid course, but that will take a lot of time to build, and that's precisely what I lack in the first place. And aside of all these questions about what I do with my time, there's the whole legal side of things. Because France is a hellhole of paperwork, and I don't even know how I would declare money I got from selling stuff. I don't know exactly how that works, and I already have 3 declarations to fill for anything I earn, so I don't feel like diving in the legal red tape just now. I don't like it, I don't want it, but I know I will need it at some point. Or do I? I feel like in this era we live in, we are always expected to grow, like to get bigger, to do more, to always aim for a higher success. But there is something about this never-ending chase that rubs me the wrong way. Like, that success or growth is always measured in terms of money or reputation. It's how to make money with your music, how to get 1 million streams on Spotify. To me, the process is so much more important because a process you love is what allows you to do it for a long time. And if you are too focused on the numbers, you may get frustrated or even discouraged before even growing. You can miss out on such a huge part that can make you a great artist. Things you can discover by messing around without a goal of profitability, like develop your creativity or find your own process. To me, this is such an important part to grow and become a better artist. In a way, I'm also in this never-ending quest to grow too. Like, I want to get better, to be more relevant in the content I do, and I also want to make this content to push me to get better. And by doing this cycle, some unexpected opportunities appeared that I'm very grateful for. The university I work at as my day job asked me to write a course about producing podcasts. I didn't apply for it, so I couldn't have seen it coming, but it's all thanks to the pile of things I did before. They knew I made tutorial videos and that I knew about sound, so they figured I could teach this subject. And that's a thing I talked about in last year's video, that anything you do, even the smallest thing, is always like collecting a stone. So by doing something regularly, you gather a pile of stones that one day will have a significant weight, and you never know in advance what this will pull towards you. I have an even better example of this. Almost 6 years ago, I asked the Japanese company Sonicware if I could review their first synth, the ELZ1. Since we kept in touch and I have reviewed a lot of their machines, and I think we have developed a nice relationship. Fast forward to this year, they asked me if I have ever been a sound designer for other companies, which I haven't. And they asked me if I'd like to design sounds and preset for their new machine, the CyDrum, and I said I'd love to. Next thing I know, I received this machine that is still in development, and they do everything not to put any pressure on me. Honestly, they've been very sweet. They tell me they already have some designers they work with, so no pressure if I can't do it, they still have enough sounds to fill the machine. They'll only select my sound if they are very good. They'll only select my sound if they are very good. Of course I took that like a competition. I wanted my sounds to be selected. This was the first time I was hired to be a sound designer, so I was going to prove I was worth it. If other sound designers had to make 100 sounds, I will do 100 sounds, and I wanted my sounds to be the best. And this completely backfired. My work schedule went like this. One day of thinking I'm a little shit who will never be able to do it.
Can you compete? You'll embarrass yourself. You will let them down. You should give up.
So I'd procrastinate and give me more reasons to beat myself up. Day 2, fueled by my guilt, I will pump myself up and work all day.
I understand the knobs and I know everything I need to pull this off. I have no choice, I have to treat this like it could save lives.
And then rinse and repeat for a long time. It's a loop of 2 days. I may have put a little bit of pressure on me all by myself, not in the healthiest way. But I couldn't let anybody down and I chose to do it. I was a professional sound designer for the first time and I wanted this, so I was not allowed to complain neither. Plus I have good friends, so they told me that this job was made for me and that I was totally qualified for this, which kind of put even more pressure on me, to be honest. Like I was even less allowed to fail. But I think what I'm trying to say is that even in the best context with the best support, pressure is always subjective, and going out of your comfort zone is always scary because there's always a part of unknown to face. And even if it's scary, it's also the best way to learn. And in the end, that went really well. Like they selected 3/4 of what I've sent. I think I have almost 90 sounds in the machine. And by the way, I still have to make tutorials on it, so if you'd like to know exactly what the CyDrums is, I will explain everything soon. It's always in the situations where we have the more chances to fail that we learn the most, whether we succeed or not. But like I said in last year's video, you have the ability to dial the risks you're willing to take. See how far beyond your comfort zone you want to go and set up your own challenges. So in that spirit, I recently joined a challenge with less at stakes, but that would still require all my attention. I joined the music production contest organized by Andrew Huang to be part of his next 4 producers 1 sample video. Basically, we had 1 sample and we had to make a music with it. We could add the sounds we wanted, but the sample needed to be the main ingredients. That was intense because I had 3 weeks to sound design instruments from the sample, compose a music that is surprising enough to raise reactions, mix the song so it sounds good, and make a video to explain how I built everything. This is doing the full cycle from conception to completion, all in 3 weeks. But I say there is less at stake because nobody's waiting for my results here. I do this for myself. Plus, I expect this contest to have like 1,000 entries, so it's unrealistic to expect to be selected. This is setting me up for failing in a safe way, if you will. The competition is more about myself, about can I complete this task in 3 weeks, be proud of what I've made, and feel like I did everything I could up to the level I have. And to be honest, I'm pretty proud of what I did. That will actually be my next video after this one, where I break down how I built this track. I have tried a lot of things for this track that I wouldn't have pushed this far if it wasn't for this challenge. I learned a lot, but that also came at a certain price. After finishing all this, I spent at least a week where I couldn't focus on any new project. Like writing this video was pretty difficult actually. I caught up on my sleep, so I was not tired physically, but I was still drained somehow. But I had not taken into account that there is more than just physical tiredness. The physical tiredness is the common one. That's the one that makes you yawn or maybe give you headaches. So to rest, you need to sleep or take a nap. And you can also energize, which is a more immediate but short-term solution. For example, you can stretch, take a shower, or drink a coffee. But there are 2 more types of tiredness that are less commonly identified, but just as important. You have the mental tiredness, when your brain has treated too much information or taken too many decisions. That's when you have a hard time to think. So to rest, you need to disconnect from your preoccupations. You can meditate, listen to some music, watch a video, or you can go for a walk or do sport, which is a great way to be physically active while putting your mind at rest. Or if you are an extrovert and recharge with other people, seeing friends and go for a drink works too. And then there's the emotional tiredness. That's when you're on edge, like hypersensitive, and react strongly with sadness, anger, or anxiety. So to rest from that tiredness, you need to discharge this emotion overload, like be in a safe place in your own bubble, write down how you feel, cry, talk to someone, or get a hug. And I wouldn't have thought that one day I'd say that what you may need is a hug and cry on a channel on music production, but I do think it's important to be able to identify what kind of tiredness you're experiencing to identify what you may need. It's important to keep a certain balance between what you do and your well-being so you don't burn yourself out. That's how you'll be able to keep loving what you do so you can do it longer, which to me is really the root of everything. So I may not be the best person to give you career advice, success advice, or financial advice, but if I can help you make better music and love doing it for longer, that's a lot closer to what I stand for. So the next video I'll make will be the breakdown of the music I made for Andrew Wong's challenge. There should be a lot of production tips in there, and I should also have some Ableton racks to share on my Patreons with that. Then I'll do some videos to show exactly how the CyDrums work, how to make patterns, and how to design your own sounds. In the meantime, the first track of the new EP should be out very soon. It's called Tommy Rowe, so keep an eye on it. I'll play it now while I wish you a great day or a great evening. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye!